All right. Good to have you on the platform today. So first of all, my first question for you is can we start by introducing yourself and tell us a bit about your background?
Yes, of course. Thank
Okay.
you for inviting me first. I'm really glad to participate
Mm-hmm.
in your podcast. So, my background, I studied economics and I had an adventure of economics because I felt the lack of environmental aspects in these studies. So, I did a master's in international relations and also development and international cooperation, but always studying environmental climate field. And I end up with a PhD on climate change and sustainable development policies. So I dedicate my life basically to study the climate crisis and try to help to figure out how we can deal and combat basically climate change together. And I work as a project manager and a policy analyst on climate and energy for a Portuguese NGO. And so also I'm Brazilian and Portuguese. I was born in Rio, in Brazil, and then I moved to Europe and I live in Portugal. And yeah, that's it.
Oh, good, good, good. So now let's dive into the main deal for today. Is how did you get your first how did you get involved in volunteering? How did you get involved in
Oh,
volunteering?
volunteering was something that I started doing since I was a kid because I was raised in Brazil. And I remember that I was going to the church because my family is super Catholic. And I was going to the church, and on the church, I started having my first contact with volunteering because we were collecting food to give to people in poor communities in Rio. So that was my first contact. So I was 10 years old. So I started volunteering in my community with my friends. So we were collecting like toys, food to give to kids in different communities. And then when I was in the university, I always did it volunteer in my life, basically. So was with local organizations. And then when I moved to Europe, I started volunteer also with the community and some other organizations and internationally. So when I was doing my master, I also volunteered for the UN online volunteering and yeah, with other organizations.
Good. So in total, how many organizations would you say you volunteer for so far?
Oh, wow. I think I volunteered so much, probably more than 20 organizations. It was
Did you
like,
enjoy
wow.
did you enjoy volunteering?
Yes, a lot. For this reason, I do it because I enjoy learning with others and also sharing what I know, because that is the
Mm,
amazing part of being a volunteer. You can learn and you can share what you know, and this is so fulfilling. It's really nice to have this feeling of wow, I'm contributing for something, and I'm also getting a lot of new skills with other people. So yeah, it's a pleasure.
that's good. So let me ask, where have you volunteered? Okay, I think you mentioned. Well, where have you volunteered, and what type of organizations have you worked with so far? Let's maybe in the United Nations. Where have you volunteered, and what kind of organization have you worked with so far? Maybe just give us some list some for us.
Oh, yeah, nowadays I volunteer for Inspiring Girls Portugal. It's yeah, you are a speaker at sessions and lectures in schools that you can discuss careers, choices, and experience. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, sharing with girls. So, but I'm still waiting for to be called to go to a school to share my experience as a woman and to inspire new generations. Also, I
Mhm.
was working as a social care in Portugal, visiting elderly that they live alone. So I was, yeah, working with the community. Um, Also, when I was a UN online volunteer, I was working with some organizations from Africa. So I was working with the 21st Century African Youth Movement, with goodness and mercy missions, also some foundations, and also volunteer for associations. Mostly it's between local experience and international experience. So that is it. Yeah, as I said before, I volunteer for local and for international organizations.
Good. Well, can you discuss some of the roles? What motivates you or inspire you to start volunteering?
What motivated? Well, organizations that they didn't have capacity to do their mission, so I try to help them to fulfill the objectives. Yeah, most of them, they lack some specific skills or knowledge, so I try to help with what I know. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, then the next question will be: what are some of the most important lessons you've learned through your volunteering experiences?
Oof, lessons.
Yes,
Yeah,
life lessons you've learned through volunteering.
well, that together we can do something better. We can change contests. We can make people achieve their dreams also. We can make people learn more, because you share your knowledge, and also you learn so much with them, because it's a win-win. You share, and also you receive a lot of new knowledge. Also, sometimes, depending the type of volunteer that you do, local knowledge that sometimes are lost because they don't have they don't keep a track on, for example, managing water in local contests, like old knowledge. So you share a lot. So this is the beauty of volunteering, like making people better, and make yourself better, a better human being. I think that is the beauty.
Okay, so let me put it. So your motivation was more like you wanted to help communities to become more better. Well, is that right? Okay.
Because we can do local. Yeah, locally we can do we can start locally. Like we can start thinking about our local environment and help this local environment grow. So yeah, most of my volunteers, they were in local communities. So that is my perspective from a local volunteering experience. Yeah.
Great. How has your volunteering impacted your personal and professional development? Has this helped you personally and professionally?
Oh, wow, helped me a lot to gain new skills, because I for example, in the UN volunteer, I could work with people that they already like some UN employees. They were working for years in the institution. So they share a lot of what they learn during the time that they work with the UN. And I could ask a lot of questions that I wouldn't have the chance to ask to someone like, that I met randomly working in other platforms. So volunteer work helped me to know how to prepare a report, or to learn about communication with different communities. So that brought me a lot of new skills for my professional life and also personal life.
Good. And then okay, good. Let me ask. Have there been any particular moment or experience that stand out to you as especially meaningful ones? Have there been some special moments in your voluntary place? Have there been special moments that stood out for you?
Well, I have few, and I can share one of them was when I was doing social visits with elderly. And because here in Portugal, the population is a really old population, and most of them, they live alone. Unfortunately, a lot of elderly people, they live a lonely life. So the church, they have this program that you do social visits. So when I was a student, I was visiting a couple of ladies that they live in my neighborhood, and they were sharing so much about history and that amazing life and the old times in the city. And I learned so much with them about Portugal, about culture, about the development of the city. And I remember, like, and we became basically family, because in some points they were calling me granddaughter, and was so cute to share like these moments with them, share knowledge about music, about listening to them, to their lives, to their achievements, was so beautiful. And I think this is was really a beautiful moment. And also another volunteering that was with the African organization, the 21st Century African Youth Movement, that I could learn how to write grant proposals and how they could improve the ICT business model. And the community was also something that was really amazing for me to be part of it. So I think these two projects, they are still here with me in my heart. So they are really special.
Good. So let me ask, what are some of the challenges you faced while volunteering? Some challenges you faced while volunteering, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, we always pass through some challenges when we are volunteer, because sometimes we want to do more and more and more, but you have the time as a barrier. So yeah, this was one of my challenges, was to learn how to limit, also to don't have a burnout in the end, because I want to help them much, but well, we are humans, we have a limit. So timing was one of them. And also some organizations, they didn't have the proper structure to receive volunteers. So sometimes you arrive and you're a little bit lost, because you don't know what to do and what they need, because they don't know how to pass the message. The structure is poor, the communication is poor. So that was a challenge. And I think these were the most challenges that I had during volunteering.
Okay, good. Have you ever faced any difficulty situation or conflicts while volunteering? And if yes, how did you handle those those difficult moments? Have you ever faced any difficult situations or conflicts while volunteering?
No, I didn't have. I didn't have any of these experience. Well, difficult situations maybe. Well, when I was volunteering for these organizations from Cameroon, there was a situation that I was in the phone with the coordinator, and yeah, the local contest was really dangerous during the time they had like some civil war. And I was with the person on the phone, and I was really worried because it was shooting happening in the area. So he was like, "Oh no, I'm fine, it's normal." And I was like, "No, this is not normal. You shouldn't normalize the situation." And wow, I was so worried, because we were talking about documents, and because I was finishing my volunteering, and they always give you this recommendation letter. And I was talking with him, and he was giving me a lot of information, super calm, but a shooting was happening beside him. So that was, well, a difficult situation that I can say, but I never had like some discussion or any bad situation that I was aware during my volunteers. They were always smooth and mostly
Good.
super well.
Okay. All right. In what ways has volunteering? No, sorry, we've not got there. What are some common misconceptions about volunteering that you've encountered? Like, are there misconceptions that you think people have about volunteering?
Misconcept. Well, that you don't have, maybe that you don't have to become to have a commitment with the organization, but it's it's a commitment that you built with organization and with the people that you were working with. So you need to be a real part of the organization, of the mission. You need to be available. You need to try your best to help the organization to achieve the goals. So I think that is because people sometimes say, I'm volunteering. Let's see if I have actually time to help them. But no, I think if you are committed to do something, you should be doing your best, as a human being, to help the organization to fulfill their goals.
Great. Great. So what are the skills have you gained or improved through your, I think you mentioned some of these keys, right? How did you balance your voluntary commitment with responsibility in your life? How did you balance your volunteering and your normal responsibility?
Yeah, and as I said before, like it's having the commitment, knowing the time and the time available to help them, and saying no sometimes is good for your mental health, for your health, and for your personal life.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I really like that. It's good to say no at some point. Yes.
Exactly. So in life, you need to learn that, and I'm still learning. So we all should learn to say no from time to time and balance your life.
Good. In what ways has volunteering shaped your perspective about community and social issues? As your voluntary work so far, has it been able to shape how you perceive your perspective about communities and social issues?
Well, because I think working close with the community, you learn more about what they need, and don't assume what they need and what they want, because most of our problems as human beings that we assume that what the other wants, and sometimes it's totally different, like according to the age group. For example, I was working with elderly, and I was assuming that they wanted something specific, but not. They actually wanted some company. They wanted people to talk with. And I learned so much with them, mostly with this age group, to communicate with them. So it was really something special.
Okay, good. So what advice do you have to give to someone who is thinking about starting to volunteer? What advice do you have for them?
First, to start volunteering, you need to think about, identify the cause that you are passionate about. So don't volunteer for any cause. You need to have the passion inside you to do something, to actually also have this personal growth, to truly help them, and also determine how much time you have to volunteer, and also contacting relevant organizations to be a volunteer. Look for volunteer opportunities that will be fulfilling, and match your skills to the volunteer opportunity. I think it's really important. And be prepared for challenges, because we'll help them eventually.
This podcast is really I don't know if I'll publish. I'm doing this podcast for my book, really, but there's so much nugget you are really sharing that I think the world should hear. I'm not joking. There's so much you're sharing that I think the world should hear. Okay.
So cool.
Yeah.
I'm really happy.
How can people find volunteering opportunities that are good fit for them? How can they find voluntary opportunities that are good fit for them?
I think, as I said before, you need to think about a cause that calls you, and you need to first think about local volunteer, because every country, they have some platform that you can look for volunteer in your community, in your neighborhood. So let's think about even neighborhood, like your local administration, your church. You have a lot of local associations that they need people, and they will be really happy to have you. So I think that is the main way to look for a volunteer opportunity. talk with your friends, because probably they know about some organization that need people to volunteer, like they need people. Internationally, I was looking for some experience internationally, and I could meet a lot of inspiring organizations, and the UN volunteer program, they help a lot. They can be really handy if you're looking for a platform to volunteer. And go online and just research, because always you will find good opportunities online. So these are my biggest tips that I can give, I think.
Oh, so most of your volunteer was coming from friends, from most of your volunteer. How was it coming? How did you get some of the volunteers? Some of the places you volunteer for personally.
Yeah, it was like I started locally. And that is really easy, because every country, they have like local opportunities, and you need to start thinking locally, and then you explore. Like, for example, European Union also has a lot of opportunities. The European Youth Portal, Volunteer World, that is international, Erasmus program, work abroad, so you can volunteer working remote, working in other countries. So internationally you have a lot of opportunities, but also it's nice to volunteer in your own community to help locally, because we need to start also helping our communities, because they need always there is someone that needs our help. So that is the point.
Good. I like some of the points you've shared so far with me. But let me ask, what are the qualities you think makes a good volunteer? What qualities do you think makes it? Yeah, what qualities do you think makes a good volunteer?
As I said, commitment and love. I think if you have the passion to do something, to help a cause, I think will bring the commitment. So I think both of them, they are something that should be balanced. And if you don't have the passion, it's not bringing a lot of commitment with the cause. So I think if you look for something that you really enjoy to work, that you would like to help, I think makes you a really good volunteer.
Hello, sorry, I think you were skipping. I didn't know. Can you come again?
Okay, no, but I can
Hello?
I can repeat. I can repeat. Okay.
Yes, repeat again. Sorry. Yeah.
So as I said before,
come again with your...
yeah, you can like, you need to be patient about the cause that you are volunteering, and that brings the commitment. So if you have the passion, you bring the commitment, and that makes a perfect, like, really good volunteer.
Okay, good. Now about yourself now, do you have any future volunteering plans or goals?
Well, now, as I said before, I am part of this organization called Inspiring Girls Portugal. There we go to schools, to universities, to different associations to inspire girls to fulfill their dreams. So we talk about our profession, how we achieve the goal of being a professional in certain fields. So right now I'm a volunteer in this organization, and and they call you eventually to help with different with different events.
Amazing. Are there any particular cause or organization you're passionate about and would like to work with in the future?
Oh, I would like to, if I had the chance to work more with local organizations, I would love, mostly like inspiring new generations. I think it's nice to always have these and also working with organizations in development and fighting like to tackle poverty. I think it would be also nice to work more in the cooperation and development part of, I think I don't have a specific organization, but things that I love and I would like to work more. Because I already work in the environmental climate, so that is already my job, but I already I would like to do something else too.
Okay. Are there any particular cause or organization you have? Okay. How do you see the role of volunteering evolving in the future, especially in the context of current global challenges? How do you see the future of how do you see the role of volunteering evolving in the future, especially in the context of current global challenges?
Well, I think it will be eventually more and more important, because we have several wars happening in the world, and we need people to support the people that they are moving from their own countries, for example. And if we can be together to help these people, I think is the power of human beings being together and volunteering to help another human. So I think it will be even more important to be a volunteer in the coming years, because we don't know what is about to happen. We have a war in Ukraine, we have war in Palestine, that they're killing a lot of people. So I think volunteer will be a really big, important role in the coming future, and helping our communities also to tackle some problems like poverty, like housing problems that we have a lot in Europe and in other parts of the globe. Climate change, we need people to help also, like with so much so many different issues. So I think it would be really important role to play in the coming future.
I see. So that means we need more people to volunteer with the horizon of the issues, with several issues happening across the globe. We need more people to come up and volunteer. More young people should come up and volunteer.
Exactly.
Okay. How can people learn more about the organization you have volunteered or get involved, or how can they get themselves involved in some of the organizations you particularly have volunteered for?
So internationally, I would recommend, for example, this United Nations volunteer program, as I said before. They have also the UN online. They can be even a volunteer online, so you can work remote and help organizations all over the globe. So this is amazing. Also, you have like the opportunity of being a volunteer while you are traveling. So work abroad is one of the programs, and you can look for information online. And locally, you can just look for platforms that they are available for your for your city, for your neighborhood. So in Portugal, we have like this platform for volunteers in Portugal, and was the way that I found about the social visit for elderly. And there are so many other ways. So but I would start like this.
Okay, good. My last question for you is there anything else you would like to share about your volunteering experience that we've not covered, that I didn't ask you? I mean, is there anything you want to share with us that I didn't touch, but you want the world to hear about it?
I think you cover all of it, but I would like to give the message for people to take a part of their time to be like a part of something bigger. Like, you don't need to volunteer like for 5 hours. It's nice if you can, but if you volunteer like once a week for something, take 1 hour of your week to do something for someone else, or for the planet, or for anything. Like, I think you'll be helping something. You'll be helping like the society, the other human beings, the climate. So would be a big thing that you can receive a lot, and you can give a lot of what you know.
Great, amazing. Thank you very much for your time so far. I truly appreciate you, all the things you've shared. You've shared a lot of amazing nuggets tonight that I think my audience will really appreciate. Well, before